So there has been considerable amount of speculation these days about how people are suffering from either hypoxia or hypocapnia, that is the lack of oxygen in the cells of the body, or the increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide in the body due to the prolonged use of corona masks. Now, there are a lot of articles that actually deny this claim also, and just like how all things are in today's age of internet, where you'll find people either supporting a particular theory or denying it. So that's how it is with respect to the speculations regarding whether a person that is using the corona mask for a very long time, they would suffer from hypoxia or hypocapnia. So, irrespective of whether these claims are true or false, what we can do to be safe and be healthy is do certain practices to enhance the efficiency of our respiratory system. Now, when I talk about the respiratory system, there are a few things that you need to consider. The first thing, obviously, apart from the nasal passage and the windpipe and the lungs, the respiratory apparatus also includes certain muscles that help in the respiratory process, that facilitate respiration. So, apart from the lungs, there is this muscle called the diaphragm, which is between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity, which goes down as you breathe in and which goes up as you breathe out. And apart from that, there are muscles between the ribs, which are known as intercostal muscles, which stretch when you breathe in and which relax when you breathe out. And apart from that, there is the clavicular movement, which is more common in pregnant ladies. When they breathe, there will be more accentuated clavicular movement while breathing. So the clavicle, the clavicle movement, the stretching of the intercostal muscles, and the movement of the diaphragm. These help facilitate the process of respiration. Apart from the fact that the lungs expand as you breathe in and they contract when you breathe out. So if you are trying to increase the efficiency of the respiratory apparatus, then there are a few practices that you can do. So let us just look at some of the basic practices. But before I start with the basic practices that you can do to improve your respiratory system, the efficiency of your respiratory system, before that I would like to talk about a particular rhythm, a particular way of breathing. So what is the right way of breathing? That is the basic idea that everyone should get first. There are many reasons why a small child is so full of energy and enthusiasm, but one of the main reasons why children are so energetic is because they actually know the exact way of breathing. They are the ones who actually breathe just the way nature intended us to breathe, which is to swell up the belly when you breathe in and you cave in the belly when you breathe out. This is also known as abdominal breathing, and this is something that human beings forget to do and when we grow up and become adults. Somehow we forget that we are supposed to expand the belly, we're supposed to swell it up when you breathe in, we're supposed to let it go down when you breathe out. So abdominal breathing is a very essential part of improving the efficiency of your respiratory system, and that is one thing that people don't pay attention to these days. Or rather, once a human being grows up and becomes an adult, he basically forgets this rhythm, this pattern of breathing, which is the right way of breathing, which is called abdominal breathing. So let us first focus on abdominal breathing, which will also help in the proper training of the diaphragm muscle. So basically what exactly is happening when you're breathing, the diaphragm goes down, and that going down of the diaphragm when you breathe in pushes the organs of the abdominal cavity, and it has to go somewhere, right? It needs room to move, and that movement happens by the transverse abdominis muscle, which sticks out as you breathe in. So that is the reason why when you breathe in, the stomach is supposed to stick out like a balloon, and when you breathe out, that stomach should go down, and that's how you'll be properly utilizing the diaphragm muscle to breathe in and breathe out. Otherwise, it's always limited breathing. You're not breathing the way you're supposed to, and that is one of the reasons why people are not very energetic and enthusiastic like children are, because children, they naturally know how to breathe like that, but adults forget this. So this is the first thing that you need to take care of. You have to consciously ensure that you are doing abdominal breathing, but now that also requires practice, because years and years of doing it the wrong way has led to the mind forgetting that it's supposed to do it naturally without, and it should happen not just because of habit, but it should be the natural way of breathing. Like the babies, they don't consciously look at the swelling of the belly when they are breathing, but they still do that, right? Because the body has the habit of doing that, and that is what you need to train. You need to first train the muscles to breathe like that. So there are a few practices that you can do to enhance or to basically help you get into the habit of doing abdominal breathing. So let us just look at some of the practices. So in order to naturally force the body to do abdominal breathing, the first thing that you can do is you can lock the upper portion of the torso region by the lateral stretching of the arms. So what exactly are you doing in the lateral stretching of the arms? It's very simple. You basically stand with 2 fingers distance between the 2 feet, with the feet parallel to each other, and then you slowly start stretching both the arms sideways, with the palms and fingers stretching in all the directions. You should make sure that both the hands are stretching sideways equally. One side should not be stretching more than the other. So what this will do is, when you just stand like this with the lateral stretching of the hands, what happens is the upper portion, that is the thoracic region of the torso, it gets locked. And now when you close your eyes and breathe in and breathe out, you will see that the body is naturally doing abdominal breathing, because the upper portion is locked, and when you breathe in and breathe out, only the lower section of the torso, which is the abdominal section, that is loose. So this facilitates a natural abdominal breathing like rhythm. So this is one thing that you can do. This you can practice 4 times. Keep stretching the hands sideways and maintain it for as long as you can till the shoulders start hurting. So this practice is a very good practice to ensure that the body naturally does abdominal breathing. Apart from this, you can even lie down on the back with your legs folded, and then just place your hand on the navel region, and then just practice normal breathing. You will see that when you lie down, you'll see that the abdominal region naturally goes up when you breathe in, and it goes down when you breathe out. This is another way to make sure that your body is doing proper abdominal breathing, and this will also exercise the diaphragm muscle. So these are 2 basic things that you can do for practicing abdominal breathing. So this was for the diaphragm muscle. Now let us look at some of the practices that will help enhance the functioning of the intercostal muscles, which are the muscles between the ribs. These muscles stretch when you breathe in, and they relax when they breathe out. So what are the practices that we can do to enhance their functioning? So the first practice is a mudra in yoga known as the Vaayavi Mudra. In the Vaayavi Mudra, you basically stand erect with the third joint of the middle fingers of both the hands pressing against the nipples on both sides of the body, and then you take the elbows behind as you breathe in, and as you breathe out you relax the elbows. You keep your eyes closed and you focus on the center of the chest. This is known as the Anahat Chakra in yoga, and you do this 7 times with the eyes closed. So this was the Vaayavi Mudra. This will not just help with the intercostal breathing, but it will also help with the immune system. Apart from this, you can do a practice known as Karmasana. In Karmasana, we are physically stretching the upper body region of the torso. What you have to do is you have to stand erect with both the feet parallel to each other. Your fingers and palms will be interlocked behind your waist. While you do that, you push the shoulder blades behind and try to stretch the elbows. Ensure that the arms are touching the upper back, and then you breathe in first, and as you breathe out you slowly laterally bend towards the right side while the palms and the interlocked fingers stretch in the opposite direction. Make sure that the arms are touching the back and they stretch sideways. Then you hold the breath for 8 seconds, eyes are closed, and then you breathe in and straighten the back and the hands. You do the same thing on the other side with the torso bending laterally on the left side while the arms are stretching towards the right side. Make sure that the palms remain touching each other, and this time the left arm will be touching the upper back. Again, eyes are closed. You breathe out completely as you bend laterally, and then you maintain the position without breathing in. You hold the breath out, maintain for 8 seconds, and then again you breathe in, straighten. You do the same thing by bending in front. This time the arms and the palms and interlocked fingers will be stretching upwards. Make sure that the palms remain together. Try to bend forward with the knees straight and try to bring the forehead closer to the knees. The arms are stretching up. You breathe out completely. Again, hold this position with the breath held out for 8 seconds. And then when you breathe in, you straighten the waist. And now you do the final position of Karmasana, where you stretch the hands and interlocked fingers downwards, but this time you breathe in and you stretch and take your shoulders behind. Look up and make sure that the eyes are open when you do this, and then breathe out and straighten after 8 seconds. This completes 1 round of Karmasana. You're supposed to do this 4 times. There are a few precautions that you need to take while doing these practices, especially when you stretch your back behind. Make sure that your eyes remain open, otherwise you may feel a little bit of dizziness. Apart from these practices, you can also do something that will directly impact the lungs. All you have to do is stand erect with both the feet parallel to each other. Join the palms over your head. Keep the elbows straight, arms touching the side of the head. Now all you have to do is breathe out and laterally bend on one side. Then maintain this position with normal abdominal breathing. What this will do is it will compress one lung and it will open up the other lung. This is like physically exercising each lung at a time. You can do the same thing on the other side, but make sure that you maintain this with proper abdominal breathing. So there you go, guys. These are the practices that you can do to enhance your breathing. There are more advanced practices too, but I just wanted to make a video that can be useful for all the people who may be facing this this breathing difficulty during these times. And I wanted to make sure that these practices are simple enough to be done by everyone. So